Yeah.
perfect.
How do we sound? Turn up, test. Okay. All right, we're good. 20. Okay. All right, dope. So it's out with the Seattle Superhawks, and it's in with the Oregon Fresh. Here at Crescent Valley High School, we have a very interesting matchup you don't typically see in the basketball league. The Seattle Superhawks, there's a bit of a story and a bit of some background in this matchup here today. It'll be the Willamette Valley Jaguars and the Oregon Fresh. It was supposed to be the Seattle Superhawks coming to Corvallis to play the Willamette Valley Jaguars, but the Superhawks had some travel issues. Their car broke down on the way here and couldn't make it tonight. They have to forfeit this game. The Jaguars have their second win of the year, and they threw a team together with some guys who have played in the league before, and they're calling it the Oregon Fresh today.
Yeah, last game of the season and a fresh new opponent for the Jaguars. The Oregon Fresh here, ready to play in Corvallis. And it's an interesting group of players out here, Isaac, for the Oregon Fresh. You got some Jaguars suiting up for the opposing team today in this exhibition matchup. It should just be a lot of fun. You have Marion out there playing for the Oregon Fresh. I think this should be a great day just for the community and for the game of basketball.
A few players that need a spotlight on this Oregon Fresh team is Marion Clark, who's the owner of this team in the Willamette Valley Jaguars, and Davion Burdett and Braden Long, who are two players who have played. Davion played in 4 games for the Jaguars, and Braden Long played in 5 games this year for Willamette Valley. They're two players from the Jaguars that are moving over to the Oregon Fresh and playing on the other side in this exhibition game. And the Oregon Fresh are also coached by assistant coach Jordan Sanders here today. Suttles and Hunter jump up the opening tip-off, but it goes to the Jaguars. Stevens, a quick three. Off the mark, Hunter skies for the rebound. Getting started quickly. And here's Braden Long out there. The only player that has played on this team this year that also played on the team last year, as a three from Morrow won't fall. They find Cy Williams inside. His jumper's off the front of the rim, but then Hansen with the follow puts it down.
How about Brandon Hansen standing just 6 feet tall, rising up and slamming the ball back home? First points of the ball game go to the Jags.
It's not like this Oregon Fresh team is guys that they just signed off the street. These are players that have played in the basketball league. Most of them played formerly for the Willamette Valley Jaguars last year. As here's one of them, Braden Long for three. His three is off the mark. Burdette the rebound from the corner for three, cashes in.
The Oregon Long take the lead.
Heave down the court for Brandon Hansen. He's able to finish on the other end. Some quick points for the Jaguars. Clark now has it on the outside. He's going to pull up a contested three. Way short on the three, off the mark.
Well, the Fresh had the lead for maybe 3 seconds, Isaac, and then the Jags came down and took it right back. 4-3 ball game. Jags ball.
Mix another quick three. The Jaguars taking some shots very early in the shot clock as Burdette takes another one, and he connects on it.
How about Davion Burdette getting hot from beyond the arc, number 3, with another three right there.
Williams, a fadeaway jumper, won't fall. Hunter able to get it as it was batted around a few times. Long on the outside, hounded by two Jaguars. Suttles gives it up to Hansen, as Hansen trying to lob it for Suttles. They find Stevens inside. He goes up with it high off the glass and in.
Hansen was trying to throw the lob right there. Just an interesting play from the Jags, but we got a tie ball game here.
Morrow draws the foul there. That one on Ace Stevens there. So looking at who's playing for Willamette Valley and the Jaguars right now, it's pretty much the core of their team. The only players that are missing from their roster in this game are Braden Long and Davion Burdette, who are playing for the Fresh. But besides that, you still have the stars that have been kind of leading the way most of the year. As the three from Morrow won't fall, but he gets his own miss swatted away. Burdette from the corner. He thought he got it there, but it's too strong again. Jaguars on the attack.
Yeah, he hit the turnaround like he's Steph Curry. Didn't even watch the ball go through, and it was just a little long that time off the back iron. But I like the confidence early.
Williams inside, absorbs the contact and finishes. Jaguars have the lead. 3 minutes into the first quarter. Clark has it on the perimeter. Fires a three. Way off the mark. Burdette, the offensive board. Braden Long, a three. Too strong again. Hansen able to track down the rebound.
And Braden Long is known as a sharpshooter. I expect to see him to heat up just a little bit. His shot's just been a little off the mark early on in this game.
There's an offensive foul there. Might have been a travel on Johnson. Davion Johnson is checked into the game for the first time as a three from the Fresh won't fall, but Hunter able to get the offensive board, try to clean it up, but it was last touched by Johnson. He's arguing his case to the ref on the baseline, but it's still Fresh ball as they're down by 2, 8.5 to go in the first quarter. Hunter in the corner for three. Off the mark as Williams throws it away. Long retreats to the perimeter. Finds a cutting Burdette. Gets inside, scoop layup won't fall, but he draws the foul and he'll head to the free throw line.
Well, nice play there by Braden Long, finding the cutting man. He's able to get down towards the basket and draw the whistle. So a chance to tie the ball game up. And Isaac, although this is an exhibition, it's a pretty good competitive basketball game. I mean, both these teams are looking to win this, and it's been tight early on.
And this is certainly There's some stakes in this for bragging rights, at least, because most of these players have played together at some point, either this year or last year. And these two teams know each other and are familiar with each other. Definitely want this one for bragging rights. Burdett connects on both attempts at the line, ties this game up at 8. 4 minutes into this game. Mix finds Johnson inside. Kicks it out for Stevens. He pulls up for 3. It swirls out. Hunter, the board.
Man, that ball in and out. It's a tie ball game, and here comes the Fresh.
Burdett, a floater. He gets the roll and gets it to fall, and the Fresh have the lead.
Burdett's cooking right now, Isaac. It has been his night so far. 10-8 the score.
Williams launches a 3. It swirls out. The last 2 threes have swirled out for the Jaguars and haven't gone down. Burdett, his 3 too strong. Morrow, the rebound. And the steal by the Jaguars. And now another turnover. And the Fresh going the other way. Nate King's into the game. Left-handed lay-in is good.
And what a run for the Fresh. They've looked solid so far. Up by 4 now.
Stevens on the outside. A quick trigger 3, and he puts it in. The Jaguars finally open up the lid on the three-point line. And they cut it to a 1-point game. King's inside, finds Burdett on the perimeter. He'll pull up again. Why not? Too strong. Down the floor, Hansen gets swatted by Braden Long. Out of bounds, still Jaguars ball.
It's been a good game so far, Isaac. Both these teams playing some solid ball. The Fresh look hungry. They like you said, it might be a bragging rights thing, but they've come out the gates knocking down some big shots.
I think there's a bit of urgency as a lot of shots have been going up early in the shot clock. As this possession will stay with the Jaguars. And a timeout on the floor. Not sure who was called by, but they're going to take a timeout and step aside. Just under 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. And the Fresh with a 1-point lead. This their second lead of the day. They were able to take an early lead, and right here, they're still up by 1.
And Burdett has just been awesome so far, knocking down a couple of shots from beyond the arc. He's been real confident. Now, he has missed a couple. His last few shots haven't been as successful, but, I mean, he's had the hot hand early on in this game, and it's been working for the Fresh as they're up 12-11. It's been a solid start.
So Burdett on the year for the Jaguars has only played in 4 games for Willamette Valley, but of the players that are currently on the roster, is the second best three-point percentage at just under 38%. And he's knocked down threes from beyond the arc. Only averaged about 10 minutes a game in those 4 games that he's played. He's an interesting story, though. He played in 2 games early in the year, got released, and then was re-signed and is now playing for them again. And one thing about his role with this team, he's actually not getting paid by the Jaguars or by the league in order to maintain college eligibility, because he wants to play. He still has 3 years left of eligibility in his college tenure. He wants to go back to school and play a few years of college ball.
Yeah, well, he's putting in the workout here at the TVL. Just trying to stay fresh with this game, playing for the Fresh here tonight. And certainly a player, so far, he's been putting on a show. I expect to see him go back to the collegiate level and handle business.
I can tell you're going to use that pun a lot tonight.
It's hard not to.
I'm talking about the Fresh. What an interesting game we've got on hand here. There's actually an executive from the Vancouver Volcanoes that helped owner Marion Clark put this team together and assemble this team. A lot of players who played for the Vancouver Volcanoes. This team, the Oregon Fresh, is a team that travels down and plays in Mexico. So they're kind of reusing that brand and that team name here tonight as the exhibition team that is playing the Jaguars in the final game of the regular season. And again, the Superhawks forfeited this game. So it's the Jaguars, it's counted as the Jaguars' second win of the year. Suttles almost lost the handle. Johnson pulls up from the elbow and splashes it down. Tavion Johnson didn't start the game, but getting red hot.
Yeah, Tavion Johnson knocking down a long two that time. One of the better shooters on this Jaguars team.
Long trying to answer right back with a three of his own. It's off the mark. Jaguars with a 1-point lead and a bit of momentum here. Johnson takes his time, fires a three, too strong. Kings the rebound. Fresh on the attack, Burdett goes at the rack. Reverse lay-in is good off the glass.
What a finish from Davion Burdett. Up and under, put it in for two.
Suttles a long-range three off the heel. Hunter the rebound, and Hunter almost lost it, but it ends up in the hands of Long. Long shifting back and forth, finds Kings. He launches a deep three off the mark. Hansen the rebound. And a steal by the Fresh going down the other way. Hunter tried to give it up for Burdett, but it's off the mark. And there's a turnover for the Fresh. Haven't seen that too many times.
Yeah, that's just a rough mistake there. The pass overthrown on the fast break. Would have been a free 2 points for the Fresh, but instead, Jags ball.
Johnson brings it across half court. Hansen at the elbow, finds a cutting Stevens, puts it up, but it won't fall. Suttles tips it out to Hansen. Stevens rips down the baseline, tries to find Johnson, but a shot clock violation there against the Jaguars. Some tough defense by the Oregon Fresh there to force that turnover.
Yeah, they're playing hard, Isaac. They want to win this game. Like you're saying, I think it's just a bragging rights thing, or maybe just, I don't know. They want to win this ball game, and it's evident the way that they're playing so far.
I think it also, as a block by Tavion Johnson, high off the glass. Cy Williams, an open look at a three, won't fall. Rebound to Kings. I think it mostly, this game kind of resembles what the TBL stands for, and that is an opportunity for players to showcase their skills in order to make it to the next level. As Johnson cleans up his own miss and gets it to fall. And that's exactly what the TBL is. It's an opportunity for players to showcase their skills, showcase their ability. Right here, both teams with an opportunity to do that. They're trying to make the most of it.
Absolutely, and as you say that, Johnson takes the lead right back for the Jags, but here's a whistle. It's going to put none other than Burdett at the free throw line, and how about the performance he's had so far? Isaac, easily the leading scorer in this ball game, and he's really left his mark on this first quarter.
Burdett cashes in on the first attempt at the line. 50% free throw shooter at the line, but that mark has definitely improved, considering he's 3 for 3 today. That must have been a technical foul, and right here, here's a backcourt violation against DeMarcus Alexander for the Oregon Fresh. Hansen dials up a three, and he connects.
Well, the Jags take the lead right back, up by 3. It was just a tie ball game.
Kings, a step back three, trying to answer right back. Off the mark, Johnson the board. So Johnson didn't start the game, but has come in and has provided some very valuable minutes. As Suttles misses a few times, but he's able to clean up the trash and score.
Here
Extend
comes
the
the
lead to 5.
Jaguars. Here comes the Jaguars as they're starting to pull away here just a little bit, up by 5, and the ball back.
Stevens finds Suttles outside. Now Williams in the paint. Stevens, his elbow jumper, too strong, but Suttles able to get above the rim and finish that one. The Jaguars have their biggest lead of the day.
Another athletic putback there for the Jags, and they get the ball right back. It's been a great run for the Jaguars, just proving that they can play as a team and handle business when they need to.
And you can see the Fresh are getting a little bit rushed as a team that hasn't played many games together. They're not being very patient and waiting for the right opportunities in order to take shots and wait for the best opportunities in the shot clock. But we're going to step aside here as the Jaguars hold a 22-15 lead over the Oregon Fresh. Just over 3 minutes to go left in the first quarter. back here on TBL TV. Jaguars with possession, up by 7. As Johnson, with his back to Inge, finds Williams, cutting to the basket and scores.
Largest lead of the game for the Jaguars, doing a really great job. And let's see what the Fresh talked about in that timeout and if they can come out with something special here.
Inge from the corner for 3, too short. Clark, the bucket and the foul. Marion Clark on the board for the first time today. The owner owning his own team.
How about Marion Clark down low, showing off the size and athleticism underneath the basket. Count it, and the foul going to the line for one more.
Marion Clark definitely has some playing experience, played in multiple leagues across the country, and eventually decided to make the investment in order to buy the Jaguars. But he's got 2 points here today as Johnson fires a 3 right away. Offensive board to Hansen. Johnson tries again and hits it this time.
You can't give Johnson back-to-back shots from beyond the arc. This is a guy who shoots the ball exceptionally well from beyond the arc. You know, you give him one chance wide open, that's a mistake. Then you give him another. It's automatic.
The Fresh come right back and answer right back. Cut this to an 8-point game. Williams trying to find Suttles, and Moreau comes away with it. Now Kings on the attack, goes right at the rack and finishes with the left hand.
Well, here's a little bit of a run from the Fresh. They've looked solid coming out of that timeout. Able to get this one to be a ball game once again.
As Johnson fires a deep 3, grazes the rim, and rebound goes to Clark. He's looking to push right away. Kings, a leaning 3, rattles out. Hansen able to box out for the rebound. Suttles goes right at the rack and gets the roll and the finish.
And Suttles is a high flyer, Isaac. You don't want to get in his way when he's going down towards the basket.
Inge on the outside, rips down the baseline, tries to save it in bounds. Great defense there by Cy Williams to force Inge out of bounds and force the turnover. Minute and a half left in the first quarter. Tavion Johnson has gotten going for the Jaguars. The Fresh have been answering back with some points in transition on the fast break. The Jaguars certainly want to feed their star player, Tavion Johnson, who's the leading scorer this year for the Jaguars that's currently on the roster. He puts up a left-handed hook shot, won't fall but a foul.
The Jags just doing a nice job of running through their offensive schemes, and this time it leads to Johnson getting to the line, shooting 2. Up by 8 right now. They're doing a solid job. Early on, I think it was back and forth, and the Fresh even had the lead a couple of times early, but the Jags have just done a good job of showing off their athleticism, and you know they've gotten a lot of extra baskets off second chance opportunities, and they've really capitalized off that so far.
The Jaguars have lost a lot of pieces, especially in the scoring category. And right now, Tavion Johnson is the leading scorer for the players that are currently on the roster for the Jaguars, averaging just over 16 points a game. He's also the best shooter from the floor, from beyond the arc, and shooting a 75% mark at the free throw line as he splashes down both attempts at the free throw line. Makes this a double-digit advantage for the Jaguars. Kings trying to fight through traffic. Johnson gets called for the foul. And Marion Clark to inbound it for the Fresh.
Tavion Johnson's playing hard. Not only is he going to score for this Jags offense, but there he is getting on the ground for a loose ball on defense. They call a foul, but it's fun to see that kind of energy in this exhibition match.
Johnson didn't play in the last game versus Salem last Friday, but exploded with a 38-point performance versus Great Falls 2 weeks ago, where he shot over 70% from the floor. As here's a 3 by the Fresh. Cut this back to a 7-point game inside a minute to go in the first quarter. Mix trying to feed Johnson off the pick and roll, but a kickball violation on the Fresh. Still Jaguars possession.
That was a big 3 down on the other side of the floor for the Fresh. They're trying to stay in this one.
Shot from the Jaguars won't fall, but Hansen the offensive board. Stevens thought about a step back three, now finds Mix cutting to the rack. It was slapped away by Moreau. And still Jaguars ball, 8 to go on the shot clock. 37 seconds left in the first quarter. Mix with his back to Kings. Tries to go inside, flips it up. Off the mark, Clark the rebound. Throws it down the floor, way too far for Jordan Inge.
That's the second time we've seen that tonight for the Fresh. Just overthrown passes on the fast break. And leaving a couple of points out on the board.
That play feels a little bit rushed. Not sure if that's quite the play that you want, but the Fresh have been taking advantage of the Jaguars in transition as Johnson can't finish with the slam.
Yeah, Johnson was rejected by the rim that time. Just couldn't get up quite high enough to throw that one down with any authority, but I like the effort. He seems still smiling over there. He knew he could have thrown that one down.
Jordan Inge heads to the free throw line as the Fresh are now in the bonus in this quarter. Inge connects on the first attempt. Inge played for the Jaguars last year, making his return and playing against Willamette Valley here today. He gets his own miss on the second free throw attempt. Kings for three. Raises the rim. Inge the offensive board again. He has to heave it. Off the glass and in! Did he get it off, though? Did he get it off in time? That was a close one. They call it good. And Jordan Inge ends the first quarter on an exclamation point and cuts this to a one-possession game.
And how about the Fresh coming off a miracle basket from Inch? They inch their way closer to the lead, now down by just 3. What a great ball game it's been so far.
A one-possession game heading into the second quarter. Final 12 minutes of the first half upcoming when we return here on TBL TV. Back here on TBL TV, I'm Isaac Doobie alongside Brody Napier. Here were the Willamette Valley Jaguars, who were slated to take on the Seattle Superhawks, are now playing the Oregon Fresh as Inge launches a three and connects. Inge ends the first quarter with an exclamation point and picks up right where he left off.
Well, Inge is red hot right now. It's a tie ball game, Isaac.
Mix for three, and he connects and answers right back. A three-point barrage here in the last 30 seconds.
It's no longer a tie ball game, Isaac. Back to a three-point game.
King's trying to do the same thing, and he does.
Back and forth we continue to go. 34-34 the score. I think Mix is going to look for the shot. I mean, it's just been back and forth triples. Both of these teams are hot.
They go inside to Johnson, who gets it with the left hand, but an offensive foul on Tavion Johnson. That's now his third foul in this game. Very aggressive on the defensive end early. He stays on the floor, though, but an offensive foul going against Tavion Johnson.
And we've seen that a couple times for Johnson. He's been known to foul people here and there. So he's just a really aggressive player. Uses his size and athleticism often, both on offense and on defense. And so he'll typically get some calls.
Inge thought about it, then fires it and rolls around and down. Jordan Inge, 3 for 3 on his last 3 3-point attempts.
And In just showing some emotion over there. He's fired up, trying to win this ball game.
As Mix pulls up, it grazes the rim. Fight for the rebound. It'll stay with the Jaguars. And Cy Williams to inbound.
And the Fresh have the lead, Isaac. It took one player getting hot, and they're back taking care of business.
Stevens for 3 is short. And Inge gets the rebound, lost it for a moment, and regathers it. Inge takes a screen, tries to find Moreau cutting inside, nearly stolen away. Now Inge, fadeaway shot won't fall. Inge ends his hot streak. He's on takeover mode there for a second as Mix tries to answer right back, but can't. Burdett down the floor, goes right at the rim, tries to lay it in, and can't, but he draws the foul.
And Burdett, who started the game off really hot, trying to get back into this rhythm here, Isaac. He's going to the line shooting 2. He's done a great job of drawing fouls all night long. We've talked about the Jags. They're a team that fouls. That's been one of their struggles so far this year. And Burdett's just taking advantage of that, getting to the line again.
Burdett 3 for 3 at the line tonight, make it 4 for 4. You mentioned it, he's been aggressive. This Fresh team has been very aggressive here tonight, but the player that has taken advantage and the aggressiveness has paid off the most for is Davion Burdett, as he's 5 for 5 at the free throw line. And he gives the Fresh a 5-point lead, just over 10 minutes to go in the first half. Hansen a wide open 3. Too strong, but Stevens able to put it back and clean up the trash.
We've seen a lot of putbacks from the Jags so far. I don't know if it's just the difference in athleticism for the Jags or what it is, but they've done an excellent job on the offensive glass.
Burdett for 3, too strong. Stevens able to reel down the board. Johnson inside, able to lay it in off the glass. And there's a technical going against Tavion. Must have been for something he said after getting that basket to fall. It was the official that was right underneath the basket that called that technical, and Tavion will have a seat on the bench. Dawson Hunter to the free throw line.
Yeah, Tavion thought there should have been a foul call there on that last basket. Needs yelling and one, looking at the ref, and ref wasn't too happy about that call. I honestly, Isaac, I don't know the last time I saw a technical foul in an exhibition game, but just goes to show that these are players that are ready to compete. Doesn't matter what the stakes are. They're out here trying to win the ball game.
We've actually seen 2 tonight.
Yeah.
They both went against the Jaguars. The Fresh lead by 1 as King launches a deep 3 and connects. The Fresh have stayed aggressive from long range, and it's paying off.
The Fresh back up by 2 possessions here. Doing an excellent job in the second quarter.
There's a foul on the outside. Going against the Fresh, ball staying with the Jaguars. The first team foul against the Oregon Fresh here in this quarter. It's actually a technical going against the Fresh. Mix heads to the line, can't connect.
These refs are just calling techs back and forth, Isaac. It's in an exhibition game. It's interesting to see how they're officiating this one. Maybe just trying to keep these players from getting a little too passionate, too heated, I suppose. But here we go, 4-point ball game, and the Jags have the ball back.
As Mix throws it away, Moreau on the other end, able to finish on the fast break. And the Fresh have been taking advantage of the Jaguars off their turnovers. Hansen finds Williams on the baseline. He gets his way into the paint, gets that bucket to fall. 3 minutes into the second quarter. Jaguars down by 4. The Oregon Fresh. Kings on the attack, fades away at the elbow and gets the roll.
And here's Nate King. He's made a couple of baskets, Isaac. It seems like every couple of minutes it's a different player on this Fresh team that gets hot. And they're taking care of business, knocking down shots.
46-40 is the score in favor of the Fresh. And now looking to take advantage in fast break again. as Burdett tried to go with the reverse layup, didn't get the call this time. Stevens outside for Hansen, inside, Euro stepping his way, and eventually gets the foul call. This one against Dawson Hunter.
And Hunter not happy with that call whatsoever that time. Said that was a clean block, but I saw Hansen talking with one of the refs just a couple of moments ago during a stop clock, and he was saying, watch for this, watch for that hand touch in the arm, because it's continued to happen to him tonight.
Hansen splashes down the first attempt at the line, a 70% free throw shooter this year. He's had to step up as the leader of this team with all the pieces the Jags have lost over the course of this year and over the last few weeks, and the team has really raved about his leadership on and off the court. He's consistent at the free throw line and makes both attempts. Moreau trying to answer back quickly, too strong. Suttles able to box out for the board. Suttles outside for Williams, back to Suttles. He charges right inside, tries to slam it down but can't.
And I said, don't get in his way. Remember, I mentioned that earlier because that is an athlete, Isaac, and when he takes off, he's jumping to the moon.
Burdett can't finish on the other end, but Mix loses it, and Burdett tack on another two for Davion Burdett. Now the Oregon Fresh with a 6-point lead. Jaguars have certainly met their match as Stevens inside, count the bucket and the foul.
Big time bucket there for the Jags. A chance to close this one back within one possession. Down by 4 right now. The Fresh have done a great job in the second quarter, and the Jags are trying to respond.
Stevens, another one of those players for the Jaguars that has played in every game this year. He's playing his best basketball the last 2 games. He has the ball here, trots into the paint. Now outside for Williams, they give it and swing it around the perimeter. Hansen ends up with it. Shovels outside for Mix. He pulls up from long range. Too strong. Hunter able to get the rebound. Fighting through some contact. And Suttles called for the foul there on Dawson Hunter. Ace Stevens, though, has been playing some of his best basketball in the last 2 games. 33 points, shooting over 52% from the floor and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And has stepped up in a big way and just had a big bucket there. But the Fresh have possession. They lead by 4, 7.5 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Fresh doing a really nice job here, Isaac. They were down by double digits not too long ago, back in the first quarter. And the way that they've responded as a team, this is a team that hasn't played much basketball together. And they play like a team. It's selfless basketball. So many players are just willing to pass, make that extra pass to find the open man. And they're just playing together as a team.
Sort out some confusion as Jordan Sanders approached the official, but Kings can't answer on the pull-up jumper. Suttles into the paint, outside for Stevens. He's going to attack inside, swinging around the perimeter. Williams now. Dishes for Mix, who pulls up and hits from outside.
A huge shot for the Jags as Mix brings Willamette Valley back within 1.
Now Alexander, his 3 rolls off the rim. Stevens there for the rebound. He leads the attack. Finding Mix inside with a mismatch. Can't finish. Long has it. Nearly lost it. Gives it up to Burdett. He penetrates and can't get the roll on the scoop layup. Suttles heave down. The floor is denied. It's Williams on the shot. He gets it right back and can't finish. Tough defense by the Fresh. Williams trying to make magic happen. Gives it up to Hansen. Mix fires and connects from outside again. Mix deep into the shot clock has put up some prayers, and they've been answered.
Another huge bucket from Troy Mix. And he's heated up when his team needs him most as the Jags take the lead.
Burdette follow-away jumper in the paint won't fall. The amount of offensive possessions that these teams are getting, it must be in the triple digits by now, and we're still halfway through the second quarter. Kings all alone on the offensive end with the two-handed jam. Gives the lead back to the Fresh.
That's a great way to take the lead right there. If you're the Fresh, the bench celebrating that time as it was a 3-on-none fast break for the Fresh.
Suttles gets inside, and there's a jump ball called. Looks like it'll be Alexander and Suttles that jump it up, and a timeout called by Coach Jordan Sanders, who's coaching for the Oregon Fresh today. She wants to talk things over with her team as the Fresh hold a 1-point lead over the Willamette Valley Jaguars here at Crescent Valley High School.
Dominant.
Back here on TBL TV. The Oregon Fresh, a 1-point advantage over the actual TBL team in the Willamette Valley Jaguars. Jump ball won by Suttles. Steven launches from long range. Too strong. Alexander down the floor, shifting his way inside, kicks it outside. Long for three, it swirls out. Braden Long been held scoreless here today. Suttles on the other end, can't finish. Now Long the rebound off the miss. 5-on-4 advantage for the Fresh. And they capitalize with a three. It's now a 4-point advantage.
Inge has been ridiculous. I mean, so before the game, he sets up his camera right here to the left of me on this table, pointing at the basket that he's scoring on, and he has just been putting together a highlight reel, Isaac. He's knocked down like 4 threes. He's been ridiculous so far, making shot after shot, and all of it's being stored right here on his iPhone. I don't know who he's going to send that film into, but it's going to impress someone, because it certainly impressed me.
I also hope he takes advantage of the highlight reel that we're putting together for him here on
right.
TBL broadcast, with a little bit of commentary and a little bit more professionalism to it in a highlight reel. But however you get it done, it seems like it works, because he certainly had himself a day. As he taps it out of bounds here, still Jaguars possession. Willamette Valley down by 2. Looking to tie it or take the lead here. Mix on the outside, penetrates inside, twisting in the paint, called for the travel.
Well, Mix, before that timeout, was the hot hand on the Jaguars team. He made a couple of tough shots back-to-back. to give the Jags the lead, but now they're back down by 2, and it's the fresh ball.
Jaguars have had some costly turnovers in this one. It's part of the reason that they're down by 2. Something they did really well in their last game versus Salem was limit the turnovers. That shot won't fall for the Fresh, but they get it right back off a turnover. Clark looking for help. Finds Burdett. Inge cutting inside. Will go up himself and gets the roll. Gets the bucket to fall.
How about Inge mixing up Troy that time on defense? That was an awesome play, faking the pass and going up for 2.
Stevens underneath the basket. Fall away jumper in the middle of the lane is good. Something the Jaguars did really well in their last game versus Salem. They won the turnover battle. It was only the 4th time they've done that this year, but here today, had some very costly turnovers in unfortunate times. As here a miss for Alexander. The Jaguars on the attack. Suttles dishes outside for Stevens. He fires a 3 and splashes it down. Jaguars have a 1-point advantage.
Great shot from Stevens. The Jags take the lead.
Burdett fires from long range, off the heel. Suttles reels in the board. Stevens will fire again from long range. Too strong. Hansen, the offensive board. Mix fires right back and connects. Troy Mix has been one of the best three-point shooters for the Jaguars this year, and that continues here in this exhibition game.
A couple of huge triples for the Jags as they extend their lead to a multi-possession game.
Fresh off the miss. Burdett, the offensive board, and the foul as he went up with it. He'll head to the free throw line again for his 6th and 7th attempt at the line today.
And Burdett's found the hole in the Jags defense and capitalized on it, drawing foul after foul after foul, and he's done a great job at the line, nailing those free throws as well.
So again, Burdett only played in 4 games for the Jaguars this season, averaged just over 5 points a game, and played about 10 minutes a game in those 4 games this year. Had a season high 13 points on March 15th, one of the first games of the year for the Jaguars. His possession will stay with Willamette Valley, but Davion Burdett has certainly made his mark on this game. And his team has had a few leads, but right now they're down by 3, a 3-point deficit with 2.5 to go in the first half. We step aside here on TBL TV. Stick around for the final couple minutes of first half action. Back here on TBL TV. Just over 2 minutes left in the first half. Jaguars with possession, and Hansen goes up strong and gets it off the glass. The Jaguars and Brandon Hansen with the muscle, finishing through the contact.
Yeah, Hansen standing at just 6 foot, playing like a 7-footer there, back to the basket, gets down to the block, puts it up through the contact. Now going to the line for one more.
He's the best facilitator on the team as he leads the team in assists, just under 3.5 a game on the season. Connects on the 3-point play. Makes this a 6-point advantage for Willamette Valley. Burdett wide open underneath the basket, can't finish.
Just got scrambled up there a little bit. Should have been an easy basket.
Mix leads the charge, able to reset to Suttles. Mix will launch from deep, too strong. Inge able to reel down the board. Suttles tapped it away, and it bounced off of Inge. It'll be Jaguars' possession. An unfortunate turnover there for the Fresh. Inge arguing with the call. Mix fires a deep three and connects.
Troy Mix Jr. from near the logo. A huge shot. Jags up by 9.
Mix, before this game, had not been shooting well from three-point range. As Kings gets inside and draws the foul, he'll head to the line. Mix was shooting under 20% from deep in the last 5 games coming into this one. But everything he's had, if he's been left open, he's been taking shots from way outside and connected on a good percentage of them. Kings gets the roll on the first attempt at the free throw line.
And Isaac, it's still a close game, but the Jags have really done a great job of closing out this second quarter. Trying to, regain control of this ball game, and it's been awesome to see. They've been knocking down some huge shots. Specifically, Troy Mix has looked awesome from beyond the arc, and the scoreboard reflects the changes that the Jags have made.
And you got to give the Fresh a little bit of credit because they have been, for a team that has never played together before, they've looked like a pretty cohesive unit. As Hansen fires a long-range three, it rolls out. Rebound to Suttles. Stevens, a floater down the lane, won't fall. The Oregon Fresh come up with the rebound. Alexander leading the attack, but a foul called against the Jaguars, and it'll be called on Stevens.
So just a minute to go. Score 65-58. It'll be interesting to see what the Fresh do here as they try. Well, now they're going to the line, Isaac, but I want to see if they're able to kind of close this game to be a little closer going into halftime, just like they were able to do at the end of the first quarter, making a couple crazy shots to bring it back within one possession. They're going to try and replicate that here going into the half.
The Fresh have certainly been aggressive in transition, and it's certainly paid off. And Alexander connects on both attempts at the line. The Fresh in the bonus, inside a minute to go until halftime. Williams on the outside, shifting back and forth, fires a three and connects.
Well, the Jags started knocking down shots, and ever since, it's been their ball game.
Burdette, he lines up a three, and too strong. Mix able to reel in the board. Suttles on the other end, goes right at the rack and slams it down with 2 hands. Brandon Suttles with no regard for human life.
Suttles with authority, looking like a space shuttle, launching into orbit, throwing it down.
Stevens spins away off the miss from the Fresh. Outside for Mix, dials up a three. Just off the rim. Kings the rebound. Shot clock turned off, 10 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Burdette into the paint, puts it up and in. 6 seconds to go. Hansen will have to put something up quickly. Off one leg. Too strong. And Jaguars go into the half. They trailed a good amount of that first half, but they head into the locker room with an 8-point advantage, score 70 points in the first half. And we go to the second half as the Jaguars lead the Oregon Fresh 70-62.
So a very strict 10-minute halftime break concludes, and we enter the second half of action. Burdett, a step back three from long range. Won't fall, mix the rebound. Trying to attack right away. Scoop layup is good for Troy Mix Jr.
There's Mix picking up right where he left off in that first half. Had an excellent first half of play, nailing shots from beyond the arc. And he draws first blood here in quarter number 3.
Burdett from the corner, connects on a three. The Jaguars are a team that shoots a lot of three-pointers on the season, as Johnson's three won't fall. Kings fires a step-back three off the heel. The rebound to Mix again. Staying aggressive, goes right at the rack and gets the roll. Troy Mix Jr. single-handedly taking over this game and taking it to the Oregon Fresh.
Yeah, Mix has been red hot, and in the first half it was three-pointers. So far, he's gotten down around the basket, showing off the size a little bit.
Mix has it again, fires a quick three and got it!
Troy Mix Jr. making it rain. What a start to the second half.
As a foul here against the Jaguars. And the Fresh inbound it quickly. Inge, fall away, jumper won't fall. Stevens heaves it down the floor, but Hansen slows down the tempo.
I think I know who's getting the ball here for the Jags.
Mix left alone for three, off the front of the rim. Inge thought about a deep three of his own, but gives it off to Burdett. Inge lost it for a moment. 5 on the shot clock. Inge got to go to work quickly. Penetrates inside. Fall away shot won't fall. And the rebound to the Jaguars as Inge ended up on the floor. Johnson outside to Hansen, now to Stevens. Back inside to Johnson with a great cut and finish off the glass.
A timeout called by the Fresh as they need to look things over. What a start it's been for Troy Mix Jr. And the Jags handling business up by 14.
Troy Mix Jr. on takeover mode here in the third quarter. Just 2.5 minutes into the second half. And the Jaguars, their lead is ballooned to 14. Returning to action here on TBL TV. The Willamette Valley Jaguars able to extend their advantage to 14 points against the Oregon Fresh. They were supposed to play the Seattle Superhawks today, the third best team in the conference, but the Superhawks had some issues in transit here to Corvallis to get to Crescent Valley High School. Had to forfeit this game, give the Jaguars their second win of the year. And owner Marion Clark, in partnering with the Vancouver Volcanoes, were able to put together a team on very short notice with about 2.5 hours of notice before this game and put together a team of about 8 players. And they certainly put up a fight, but a few missed shots and a few turnovers that the Jaguars have taken advantage of recently, and the Jaguars have taken a 14-point advantage. 9.5 to go in the third quarter. Hunter inside, able to score and get the foul. No, it is going to be a foul.
They count the bucket and send Hunter to the free throw line.
Yeah, great shot from Hunter, and he didn't know he got fouled there as he was running back on defense even after the whistle was blown, but he'll go to the line for one more, and it's been all Jags to start off the second half, specifically Troy Mix Jr. handling business. But the Fresh aren't out of this one yet, Isaac. Still a lot of basketball left to be played, and this is a team that's gone on runs a couple of times already in this game to take the lead, so they're going to try and do that once more.
And the Jaguars have been running a zone defense all day, a 2-3 zone. And that time, Hunter was able to find some space underneath the basket as Johnson throws it away. There's a turnover for the Jaguars. The Fresh looking to find a little bit of momentum here out of the timeout. Burdette, quick trigger three. He connects on it. Burdette, an exceptional first half, and he continues it here in the second half with a deep three. Cuts this lead to 8 as Johnson is able to clean up the trash and finish on the other end. Back to a double-digit advantage for the Jaguars. Burdette outside. Able to sidestep a defender, but can't hit on the shot. Kings penetrates inside, kicks it outside. Burdette. He fires a three. Off the mark. Inge the offensive board and the putback.
Excellent play there from Inge. In the right place at the right time to put that ball back up and in. Get this one back within single digits.
Hansen going right to the rack, but can't finish. Johnson trying to clean it up there. He'll head to the free throw line as he draws the contact. And he looks to give the Jaguars back a double-digit advantage. The Jaguars this Willamette Valley Jaguars team shooting just over 65% from the free throw line this year. That's bottom 8 in the league, but certainly shot a pretty good percentage here tonight against the Oregon Fresh. Johnson goes 1 for 2 at the line. Hunter able to box out for the rebound. And they're wanting to reset the clock as one of the officials wants to change the time on the clock. The Fresh will inbound, 19 seconds on the shot clock, 8 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter. Inge a sidestepping three, and he buries it from long range.
Inge has been ice cold all game long, Isaac. He's treating this one like it's an NBA playoff game and not just an exhibition. He has been playing his hardest out there, making every opportunity count.
They lob it inside for Johnson. He goes up with it. Can't finish, but he draws the foul. And he'll head to the line again. So interesting, in that first half, Tavion Johnson called for 4 personal fouls, a couple technical fouls in that first half. He had to sit on the bench, but he's come out aggressive here in the second half and is getting trips to the free throw line. This will be his 3rd and 4th attempt here just in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Tavion Johnson is a player you don't want to let get hot because he's one of the better scorers and certainly the best shooter on this Jags team. Shoots almost 40% from beyond the arc, and when he's out on the floor and not in foul trouble, he's a very dangerous player.
Johnson, the leading scorer on this Jaguars team, averaging just under 16 points a game as he can't hit on the second attempt at the line. He's also the best free throw shooter on this roster currently. He exploded with a 38-point performance versus Great Falls 2 games ago, where he shot over 70% from the field and 15 from 19 inside the arc. As Kings fires a fall-away jumper and is able to connect. It's now a 5-point deficit for the Oregon Fresh. We're putting up a fight here in the third quarter. Jaguars were just up by 14 as Williams dials up a 3 and buries it from outside.
Yeah, the Jags have just been knocking down big buckets, Isaac, possession after possession, holding on to the lead.
Moreau with an aggressive drive to the rack is able to score with the left hand. Inside 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Jaguars hold an 86-80 lead. Hansen dishes to Williams. Now outside Mix. He leaves it short, and Moreau has the rebound. Inge on the outside. A high arcing three won't fall. Suttles reels in the board. Suttles goes right at the rack. Thought about the dunk, but ends up scooping that one up to the rim and gets it to fall.
A tough jelly layup that time from Suttles. The scoop and score. Majestic.
Kings fires a three and connects on it from long range. Every time the Jaguars have been aggressive and gone on a run, the fresh answer right back with a run of their own. Hansen on the outside. He dials up a three, but too short. Inge hoists down the floor for Burdett. All alone is able to finish.
And slowly but surely, the Fresh have made their way back into this one. Isaac, they were down by 14. It's a three-point ball game.
Mix fires a contested three off the mark, but able to get the ball here. Puts up a mid-range jumper, won't fall. Johnson the rebound, left hand, won't fall for Johnson. And Williams had it for a moment. It was slapped away by the Fresh, and the Jaguars will inbound. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. This is a one-possession game. Jaguars, with about 9.5 left in this third quarter, had a 14-point advantage. Right now with 5.5 to go in the third. The Fresh have been able to rally back, make this a one-possession game. Williams open for three. Can't take advantage. Inge brings it across the timeline. Shifting back and forth, gives it up Moreau. He drives with the left hand, gets right to the rack and scores. It's a one-point ball game here.
Yeah, neck and neck, Isaac, as these two teams have been going at it. The lead has changed countless times in this one. It's been a great battle.
Hansen left alone for three, can't hit it. Rebound to Williams. He gives it up to Johnson. His shot rattles around and tipped out to Hansen. Mix will take no time, fire at three and connect. Mix has hit everything from way outside, and he continues that streak. Inge stays aggressive, goes right at Mix, and gets the shot to fall. And a timeout for the Jaguars. They want to talk things over. They lead by 2, and the Fresh rally back and have cut into this deficit, not allowing the Jaguars to run away with this one. We'll be back here on TBL TV. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Back here on TBL TV, the Willamette Valley Jaguars with a 2-point advantage over the Oregon Fresh. Just over 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Jaguars this year have been very aggressive from deep and shot a copious amount of three-point shots from outside. Over 35 attempts per game. That's fourth most in the league. As Suttles gets inside and is able to find a hole in the defense and finish in the paint. Kings fires a step back three, can't connect. Johnson the rebound. Hansen pushes the tempo. As Williams thought about a three. Cross-court pass to Hansen. He's open for three. It rattles around and out. Johnson tips it right to Kings. Kings trying to go quickly on the attack. The spin move and the pivot. He hit B on the Xbox controller. Did a beautiful spin move to get free and score. Nix attacks inside. Goes right through two defenders to score. Back to a 4-point game as a steal for the Jaguars on the other end. Mix fires and connects. Who else but Troy Mix Jr. has stayed aggressive from outside. And it is paying off for Troy Mix Jr.
Troy Mix has been dominant in this ball game, especially in the second half, Isaac. He has been ridiculous so far.
Davion Burdett answers right back, though, with a three of his own. Back to a 4-point game. Inside 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
And it is just an exhibition, but this has been nonstop entertainment. Just back and forth we go.
Suttles gets right to the rack. Is able to drive through the zone defense. The Fresh have been playing a very soft zone defense, and it's allowed the Jaguars to have those open shots from beyond the arc, as Kings able to attack inside and finish with a left hand.
And Kings has had a solid quarter himself, respectively. I mean, both of these teams are just making shot after shot. It has been nonstop offense here.
The Jaguars have hit triple digits on the day as Mix attacks and tries to lay it in to extend their lead. But a foul here. Officials sorting this out. A jump ball between the Jaguars owner Marion Clark and Tavion Johnson will go up. That one was tightly contested. Just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter. The Jaguars have hit triple digits on the day. They lead 196 as Clark wins the jump ball. Long, looking to take advantage right away. Dishes to Inge, who has a free path to the basket. It's a 2-point game. 2 minutes left in this third quarter. Mixed cross-court pass to Suttles, swatted, and Suttles ends up with it again. And a double dribble against Suttles, an offensive foul and a turnover by the Jaguars. Oregon Fresh have possession. Long to trigger it in. Finds Inge. Now Burdett ends up with it. Burdett will slice right to the rim, but get denied by Williams. Hansen lobs for Johnson, who lays it in with the left hand.
The Jags with quick defense that turns to offense. An excellent block on one end, turns to a lob on the other. They've extended their lead in the later stages of this third quarter.
Kings fires a step back three and buries it.
That's a disgusting step back right there. Nothing but net. And his shot is silky smooth.
Hansen over to Mix. He gets inside. Tries to put it up, but can't finish. Mix in some trouble, flips it up off balance, and is able to get it. He's a little bit shaken up on that play as he's wincing in some pain, favoring that right ankle. But on the other end, the Fresh will get attempts at the free throw line. And Mix is having trouble even leaving the court. Not a good sign for the best three-point shooter and the most consistent scorer for the Jaguars today.
Yeah, I hope he's okay as he's slow to walk over to the bench. And certainly not the instance where you want to see a player get hurt in an exhibition game. You don't want to see anyone getting dealt with any injuries whatsoever.
Nate King's at the free throw line. He had an exceptional three-point step back on the last possession for the Fresh. And right now, the Oregon Fresh are feeding the hot hand and getting the ball to Nate Kings. He's been aggressive, now at the free throw line. Tavion Johnson checks in for Troy Mix for the Jaguars. Kings splashes down both attempts at the line.
It's a one-point ball game.
As Stevens loses the handle, Kings on the attack. He's going to fire a three. It's pure. It gives the Oregon Fresh the lead. They have a 2-point advantage. Stevens launches a three. It rolls off the rim. Kings with a rebound, but stays aggressive. Goes right to the rack. Tries to lay it in. Can't finish. Gets his own miss. Tips it out to Inge. Behind the back pass for Inge. Ends up going to nobody and rolls out of bounds. 11 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. Hansen with the ball, in some trouble. 5 to shoot. Hansen, floater, won't fall. And the clock in the third quarter winds all the way down as the Oregon Fresh take the lead and the momentum right back to end the third quarter off of some very aggressive and successful plays by Nate Kings. We head into the final 12 minutes between the Oregon Fresh and the Willamette Valley Jaguars. Back here on TBL TV, the Jaguars had their largest lead of the game with a 14-point advantage in the third quarter, but they've seen that slip away. And now the Oregon Fresh lead by 2 as Williams dials up a three, but it won't fall, gets his own miss, goes right at the rack, can't finish, but draws the foul.
So Williams with a chance now at the line to tie this ball game up, and like you said, the Jags are up by 14 points, Isaac, and it's been a 16-point turnaround ever since as they're now down by 2. Entering this fourth quarter. I mentioned it, this Fresh team, they might go down, but they're never out of the fight the way that they play. And they have so many talented players on their team that could get red hot out of nowhere seemingly. And that's what happened with Kings is he just started knocking down triples and making shots around the basket. And that's what's given the Fresh the lead.
The Jaguars have done a nice job tonight of getting to the free throw line as Stevens gets the miss from Williams at the line. Jaguars down by 1. Stevens looking to give the Willamette Valley Jaguars the lead as Hansen can't get it on 2 attempts. Kings comes away with it. Behind the back pass from Alexander to Moreau, and he's able to get it. A circus assist from DeMarcus Alexander. As Stevens throws it away. Fresh with numbers on the attack, but the step-back shot from Moreau won't fall.
That would have been a big-time bucket right there. Off of the steal, trying to extend the lead, but the Jags stay within 3, and it's Troy Mix Jr. back out on the hardwood. Good to see him feeling better and able to get back out there to keep playing some ball.
He has it here, finds Williams inside. Williams kicks it back out. Hansen, an open 3. Won't fall. Kings able to reel down the rebound, but throws it away. Suttles comes away with it. Stevens lob for Suttles! The two-handed jam! Are you kidding me? Suttles has flirted with some of those jams tonight, but he finally puts it down with authority.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him when he jumps off the floor. Suttles with authority.
The Fresh still lead by 1. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as Alexander on the double pump can't hit. Williams outside, thought about a 3, now fires it. It's short. Long races, tracks down the board, but Long throws it away. Mix has it. Jaguars down by 1. Mix lost it. Moreau has it. Numbers again for the Fresh. Kings dials up a 3, too strong. As a foul goes against Brandon Hansen, and Kings draws it on the outside. Still Oregon Fresh possession, looking to go up by 2 scores.
And what an entertaining game it's been so far. And you know, at the end of the day, that's the point of the exhibition, Isaac. It's to put on a show for the fans here in Corvallis, and it has been awesome to watch some of these baskets.
Marion Clark from long range can't hit. Stevens able to sky for the board. Suttles feeds Williams down low, goes right at the rack and finishes off the glass. The Jaguars have the lead.
The Jags retake their lead. And here comes the Fresh the other way. Kings leading the charge.
3 minutes into the fourth quarter, Kings a long range 3. It caroms out of the rim. Stevens let it roll on the floor there, and a timeout. No, excuse me, a double dribble against Stevens as he started his dribble and then lost it. Couldn't pick it up again, but he did. And it's Fresh possession down by 1. Kings out to Alexander. He pulls up from the baseline. Too strong, but Clark ticks it out to Moreau. Moreau, his shot too strong. Alexander, the offensive rebound again. Burdette pulls up from mid-range. It won't fall. Suttles with an acrobatic finish on the other end. The Jaguars now up by 3.
Very impressive finish by Suttles. The pass was down by his waist when he jumped up for the ball. He was able to get it up above his head for the finish in time, all in midair. Just super impressive athlete, and he can just jump right out of the gym.
Kings is able to bully his way inside and score. Jaguars lead by 1 as Williams gets right to the rack, finishes, gets the bucket and the foul. Cy Williams will head it to the free throw line to connect on the 3-point play.
And Cy Williams with a chance now to extend the Jags lead to a 2-possession ball game, so that's what he's going to look to do here at the line with his 1 shot.
Williams shooting just under 63% from the line on the season. He's been very cold the last 2 games, shooting under 27% from the field, but he connects on the 3-point play. The Jaguars have a 4-point advantage. Under 8 minutes to go in this game, and a tight one here at Crescent Valley High School between the Willamette Valley Jaguars and the Oregon Fresh in the exhibition game and the finale for the year for the Jaguars. back on TBL TV. Inside 8 minutes left in this game at Crescent Valley High School between the Willamette Valley Jaguars and the Oregon Fresh. An exhibition game for the Willamette Valley Jaguars and a home game to end the year. And the Jaguars up by 4 right now. Looking to end the year strong. Here's the owner of the team, Marion Clark, playing for the Oregon Fresh. Pivots his way inside, gives it up to Moreau. Who dishes to Burdette. Nearly lost it. Finds Inge cutting to the rack. And he's able to get it off before the shot clock expires and score.
Excellent pass on the back cut to cut the lead down to 2.
Williams launches from long range, but it won't fall. Clark boxes out for the rebound. Clark playing some crucial minutes here for the Fresh. This one's tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Suttles. Burdette. Moreau ends up with it. Has some space along the baseline. Can't finish with a left hand, but draws the foul. And 2 attempts for Darius Moreau. He'll head to the line and potentially tie this game.
Yeah, excellent play there from Moreau that time, getting down towards the basket at full speed, able to draw the whistle, and like you said, Isaac, a chance to tie this ball game up at 114 apiece.
Moreau formerly played for the Salem Capitals as his first free throw rattles around and down. A second attempt to even things up at 114. He got it. Moreau perfect at the line on 2 attempts. Even at 114, inside 7 minutes left in this game. Hansen on the outside. Dribbles between the legs, gets a screen, kicks it outside Stevens. His 3 too strong. Moreau skies for the rebound. Burdette ahead to Jordan Inge. She fires a high arcing 3. It won't fall. Kings the rebound. Kings attacks. Dishes outside Burdette. He fires a 3, too strong. Clark the offensive rebound. He can't finish, and Johnson comes away with it. Now on the attack for the Jaguars. Johnson gets inside, can't finish the first time, but gets it on the second attempt.
Excellent play there from Tavion Johnson, getting right underneath the basket, able to capitalize.
Kings with a nasty spin move inside. We're knotted up at 116 again. Halfway through the 4th quarter, Stevens' fadeaway jumper is pure. Jaguars regain a 2-point lead. Kings will launch a deep 3, and he connects. Oregon Fresh back into this one, and they regain the lead here in the 4th quarter.
A ridiculous triple from Kings.
Stevens' fall-away mid-range jumper in the middle of the lane is true. And the Jaguars regain a 1-point lead.
Man, this has been the most exciting ball game, maybe of the season for the Jags.
Nobody covering Burdette. He fades away, but can't hit. Suttles feeling it, but it's too strong. Kings the rebound. Burdette left alone on the offensive end, but doesn't take a shot. Moreau dishes. Inge inside underneath the basket. Acrobatic shot won't fall. Hansen finds Williams at the elbow. He pulls up and knocks it down. Back to a 3-point advantage for the Jaguars. They led by as much as 14 in this one as Williams with a tough contest at the rim on Nate Kings. Kings will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, great play there from Kings, using his athleticism to drive down that left lane. Went up and felt the contact that time as he hit the floor pretty hard, but he's going to the line for 2. Trying to inch this one a little bit closer, down by 3.
Kings has come alive in this second half. Hit a lot of deep threes, and anytime the Fresh have needed a bucket, they've gone to Nate Kings. He stayed aggressive by attacking the rim. That's what got him these 2 free throw attempts. Can't connect on the second. Mix able to box out for the rebound. Williams pulls up from the elbow. It grazes the rim. Burdett the rebound. Burdett gets inside and scores with a scoop layup. Ties this thing up at 122. Suttles on the outside. Just over 4 minutes left in this game. Mix left alone for three, and he splashes it down.
Troy Mix Jr. has left his mark on this ball game, and he's not finished yet. A big triple to give the Jags the lead once more.
They've left him alone too many times, and he's capitalized off those opportunities as Burdett answers right back with a three of his own off the offensive board by the Fresh. A lot of offensive rebounds for both teams as Stevens answers right back with a three. Man, when the three-point shots are falling, they come in bunches for both teams.
And this is as high scoring as the games get, Isaac, 128-125.
Moreau trying to answer right back. His three won't fall. Jaguars trying to go up 2 possessions. Hansen thought about a three. Dishes to Williams. A game of hot potato between Hansen and Williams. Now Mix gets involved. He fires a three. Why not? Off the mark. Rebound to Kings. Jaguars up by 3. Kings trying to change that. Gets inside, puts it up off the glass, draws the foul. Inside 3 minutes to go, Kings heads to the free throw line again. And the Jaguars have been fouling Kings whenever he gets inside. He's obviously a dangerous scorer. The Jaguars know that, and they've been fouling him on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's going to the line with a chance to cut it back within a 1-point game, Isaac. It's been so back and forth. And both of these teams in the last couple of minutes, they've been knocking down triples like it's, you know, the Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets a couple of years ago. It has been entertaining to watch. Nonstop offense here in this exhibition game.
It's an exhibition game, but it feels like the 2018 Western Conference Finals. We'll be back. The Jaguars hold a 3-point lead. Inside 3 minutes left in this game. A game that's coming down to the wire here on TBL TV as the Willamette Valley Jaguars lead by 3. Inside 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter here at Crescent Valley High School in Corvallis, Oregon. Certainly the most entertaining game that I've called for the Jaguars this year, and the one that is definitely going to come down to the wire. King's at the line. He's been at the line frequently here in this third and fourth quarter. Connects on the first attempt and is perfect on the second. It's a 1-point game at Crescent Valley High School. Hansen leads the Jaguars offense. Mix has it just inside the arc. Dishes back out to Hansen. Back to Mix. With his back to Moreau. Charges right inside. Can't get the shot to fall. Moreau the rebound. Moreau in some trouble, double team, but escapes. And a foul called against Troy Mix Jr. It'll be the 5th foul against the Jaguars as a team. And the Oregon Fresh are in the bonus. So Moreau will head to the free throw line. It's actually looks like a technical foul against Troy Mix Jr.
Man, just an untimely foul for the Jags as they were up by 1. And now it's a tie ball game, and you give the Fresh the ball with another chance to score to take the lead.
They give Moreau just 1 attempt at the free throw line. Inge's 3 is off the mark. Johnson there for the rebound, and a foul against Inge. That's the 3rd team foul for the Fresh in this quarter. And the Jaguars have possession. Tied ball game at 128. Hansen brings it up the floor. Came alive in the last game against Salem on last Friday with a season-high 25 points. But Nix has it. He's been red hot tonight. He gets inside and scores. And has something to say about it afterwards.
And Troy Mix Jr. dominating down low. We can knock down a triple, and he can score around the basket. Versatile score.
Burdette mixing it up outside, but can't hit the shot. Hunter the rebound. Inge on the outside. 5 to shoot. Moreau gets inside. Acrobatic shot won't fall. And Suttles has the rebound and leads the attack. Goes right away, can't finish. And this one's swatted out of bounds. Last touched by the Fresh. Still Jaguars possession.
Well, the Jags are up by 2. Minute and a half to go. They're looking to take a more convincing lead here, trying to go up by 2 possessions, which would certainly help them in trying to close out this ball game.
Johnson takes his time on the outside. They feed Mix on the perimeter.
Call it defensive 3.
A defensive 3-second violation. And that will put Brandon Hansen at the line for the Jaguars. He got it. So they just give him 1 attempt. And it's a 3-point ball game here at Crescent Valley High School. And the Jaguars still have possession.
You know, Isaac, I don't know if I like that call. Defensive 3 in an exhibition 2-point ball game. I don't know, man. I think you just let these guys go out there and play. They got a minute left. It's been such an entertaining ball game.
3 to shoot. Hansen's floater won't fall, but gets his own miss and puts it back. The Jaguars up 2 possessions. Inside a minute to go in this game. Kings into the paint. Goes right at the rack and scores with a left hand. Back to a 3-point game. Playing some full court pressure and it pays off. Burdette gets fouled and will head to the line.
Burnett said this game's not over yet.
The Oregon Fresh applying the full court pressure and the defensive pressure. The Jaguars collapse in that moment. Give that turnover right to the Fresh. Burdette at the line. A 50% free throw shooter coming into this game. In the previous 4 games he played with the Jaguars, but has been nearly perfect at the line tonight. Just over 45 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Burdette with 2 attempts. Looking to make this a 1-point game. First attempt rolls off.
Man, and they need these free throws right here. The Fresh, they do, is in order to win this one. They're down by 3. And now just a chance to make it a 1-possession game, but still 45 seconds to play.
Can't get either attempt. It stays at a 3-point game. Hansen shifting back and forth, gets free, into the paint, tries to go up with it, but gets fouled. Hansen will head to the line again.
Well, Brandon Hansen's been the closer in this ball game, Isaac, and it has been awesome to watch the way he's been orchestrating this offense. He had that putback to go up by 5 on the last time down the floor for the Jags, and here he's going to the line trying to ice this game and send everyone home.
He got the first attempt. The Jaguars now lead by 2 possessions. Just over 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Hansen, been the leader all year. At 30 years old, been the veteran calming presence on offense tonight. And he calms things down, makes this a little bit more of a comfortable lead for the Jaguars. They now lead by 5. Final 30 seconds when we return here on TBL TV. Final moments of a very tense, down-to-the-wire game at Crescent Valley High School between the Jaguars and the Oregon Fresh. The final game of the year, the final event of the season for the Jaguars as Hansen nearly comes away with a steal. Jaguars lead 135-130 as Burdett can't finish. Hansen the rebound. Finds Suttles down the floor. Lob off the glass for Johnson, won't fall. And Johnson last touched it, so it's a turnover for the Jaguars. He gives the Fresh possession right back. Burdett has to heave from long range. It doesn't even touch the rim. It's an interesting decision there by Davion Burdett. Hansen in trouble, double teamed, but gets the foul call. And that's the Fresh's 5th foul of this game, in this quarter as a team. It sends Hansen to the line. He'll shoot 2. And effectively seal this one up for the Jaguars.
Yep. And how about the Willamette Valley Jaguars, Isaac, saving their best for last, trying to walk out of here with a win to close out the season.
Hansen has been an elite defender all year. And like I mentioned, the veteran presence that calms the rest of the team. At 30 years old, he's played around the country and has been a steady staple of this Jaguars locker room and team. Makes this a 7-point game. Fresh to inbound, under 13 seconds to go. Kings in a hurry. Puts one up from outside, can't connect. Long, fires a 3, it won't fall. Long, a second attempt, won't fall. And the clock runs out, and the Jaguars end the year with a stunning finale. A forfeit win over the Seattle Superhawks and an exhibition win over the Oregon Fresh to end the 2025 season here at Crescent Valley High School.
And what a way to cap off the year for the Jaguars. They had some huge moments in this season, Isaac, including their first win in program history in a year, able to secure the victory, close out the season. What a way to close out the year, ending on a high note for the Jags.
Wow, scoring 137 points against the Oregon Fresh. They looked very cohesive on offense, took advantage when they had open looks at threes, and that's certainly what they did. A big reason why they scored 137 points in this one. And for the Oregon Fresh, you got to give them some credit for a team that has never played together, a team that was assembled 2 hours before tip-off. Pretty incredible what they were able to accomplish out here at Crescent Valley High School.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team now that's played only one game, but they average 130 points a game, Isaac. It was impressive to watch the way that they can score the basketball. Some key players on that team, and I expect to see a lot of those players to become a little more familiar faces here in the TBL going forward, as they had a number of excellent scorers and great athletes on that fresh team.
Wow, so many people to thank here on the TBL broadcast that have made this season possible for the Jaguars, and there's so much hard work that goes on behind the scenes. For all of our sponsors at the TBL and the Willamette Valley Jaguars, it's been a pleasure, and I want to say thank you to all of the people that I don't mention, but there's a lot of people to thank for this one. I'm going to try to get through all of them. To our technical director for most of the year, we want to say a big shout out and thank you to Akila Wikra Maratina, as well as Emmett Burris, who's been holding it down here tonight in Akila's absence. For the president of game day operations for the Jaguars, Kelly Long. And of course to the owner of the Willamette Valley Jaguars in Marion Clark, who got in and played a few minutes here tonight for the Oregon Fresh. Also want to say a big shout out and thank you to Cindy Murphy, who is the president of the basketball operations for the Willamette Valley Jaguars. I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to Ryan Oppenheimer, who's been holding it down this entire season for the Jaguars behind the camera. To my color commentator, Brody Napier. Devlin Christensen, who did a little bit of color commentary and play-by-play work this year for the Jaguars. I want to say thank you to him. Everybody who has made this season possible, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And only hope that we can continue to grow here on TBL TV and that this team can continue to grow. The Jaguars win in exhibition game 137-130 over the Oregon Fresh here at Crescent Valley High School. My name is Isaac Doobie for Brody Napier and the entire crew here at Crescent Valley High School. I'm Isaac Doobie signing off, saying aloha and good night here in Corvallis, Oregon.